Hello and welcome back to another video of learning human anatomy and physiology. So in this video we are going to talk about the role of pepsin in protein digestion. So the digestive system, mainly it consists of the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach. There will be pancreas, the duodenum, jejunum and ileum, which are the part of the small intestine, where most of the digestion takes place in the small intestine in the part of duodenum. Okay, so a good source of protein is mainly found in the meat, an egg, and some beans. So this type of food, they contain high protein. So if we look into this meat and egg or high protein food, so they contain uh, amino acids. They are basically chains of amino acid. The proteins have amino terminals, which are amino group, and they have a carboxyl terminal where the carboxyl group is. So the digestion of the protein begins with the mouth. First, when we chew the food by the process called mastication and break down the food, the protein or the food will make its way through the esophagus to the stomach, and uh, in the stomach is the place where all these processes or the breakdown or hydrolysis or the hydrolyzation of the protein takes place. So all the food are now in the stomach, let's assume it, and they have not been digested by any enzymes yet. It has only been partly digested by the mouth by mastication. The chemical digestion of protein begins in the stomach. So let's look how and why. So the stomach, it secretes pepsinogen, which once it is secreted it will be converted into pepsin. Okay, so once this stomach it secretes pepsinogen, so this pepsinogen will be converted into pepsin later on, and this pepsin, this will hydrolyze peptide bonds in the stomach or the food. So let's look into the stomach here. This we have taken a small part of the stomach. So let's say that this is the stomach cells here, and this part you have the lumen, and here are the large uh, peptide bonds, large proteins. So these proteins are uh, present in the lumen of the stomach. The stomach cells will begin to secrete pepsinogen, and at the same time this hydrochloric acid will also be produced. This hydrochloric acid, it assists pepsinogen in producing pepsin. All right, so the stomach cells, it will produce pepsinogen, at the same time it will secrete hydrochloric acid. So this hydrochloric acid is secreted by the parietal cells, and this pepsinogen is secreted by chief cells of the stomach. Okay, so this hydrochloric acid, it assists in making pepsinogen, making pepsin by pepsinogen. So this pepsin will now break down this large protein or hydrolyze this protein into large polypeptides, okay, in the stomach. All right, understand? And now here the pepsin is able to hydrolyze the peptide bonds, breaking down the protein into large polypeptides. So from the stomach, the large polypeptides will enter the small intestine, the duodenum, the first part. So the first part of the small intestine is the duodenum, and the duodenum is the main site where most of the protein digestion and absorption takes place. So now, when this large polypeptide reaches the duodenum, the pancreas here, it begins to secrete some enzymes that will help the digestion of the proteins. So this pancreas, it secretes enzymes like trypsinogen, chymotrypsin, and procarboxypeptidase. So now let's have a look inside of the duodenum. So let's have a look here. So here we have the cells of the duodenum. At the bottom you can see here the blood vessels. So when these large polypeptides will reach the duodenum, these cells of the small intestine, the duodenum, there is a specific cell in the small intestine, the duodenum, called the enterokinase. So this enterokinase, it will help trypsinogen to be converted into trypsin. So in the small intestine, the duodenum, this pancreas, it will secrete trypsinogen, chymotrypsin, and procarboxypeptidase. So these three enzymes will be present in the duodenum, the small intestine. So there is a specific enzyme which is called the enterokinase. So this enterokinase, it will convert trypsinogen into trypsin. So where this trypsin will hydrolyze peptide bonds, where this trypsin again, it helps the chymotrypsin to convert into. So this trypsin again, it helps the conversion of procarboxypeptidase into carboxypeptidase, where all these enzymes, trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidase, they all help in hydrolyzing the large peptide bonds. Hydrolyze means breakdown of large proteins. I mean hydrolyze means break down into smaller particles. So later on, this large particles or the large polypeptides will be broken down into small polypeptides in the small intestine itself. So in the cells of the small intestine, we have special cells called the brush border enzymes, which are present in the cells of the intestine. So there are like dipeptidase, which hydrolyzes dipeptides. Okay, so later on, this will break down the small polypeptides, and later on it will be absorbed, and small particles or small amino acids will be transferred to the bloodstream. So I hope this makes sense. So let's go back once again. So when the food reaches the stomach, the cells of the stomach, it will produce or it will secrete pepsinogen. At the same time, it will secrete hydrochloric acid. So this hydrochloric acid, it helps converting the pepsinogen into pepsin, where this pepsin helps in hydrolyzing the protein into large polypeptides. Okay, so basically we are talking about the role of pepsin in protein digestion. So I hope this makes sense. If you have any doubts, please do comment. Thank you.